my name is Kelly Turner. I'm a certified coach. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. I just got this info an hour ago and I so need it. Beautiful, beautiful. Great to have you here. So I am Kelly Turner. I'm a certified coach and I'm really passionate about building healthy relationship with ourselves. No matter what goals we're working towards, it's about our relationship and listening to ourselves. So I partner with Life Coach University, and all coaches from around the globe offer webinars as a means to pay it forward, to make webinars accessible to everyone. So welcome everybody. It's so lovely to have you all here. Just to make you aware that I don't say any names. This is being recorded, so please be interactive as much as you want. I will read the comments out, but I won't say anyone's name, so it stays confidential. Okay? Hello everyone. I can see the hellos coming in. So lovely that you're here. Oh, beautiful. How exciting. So today, this theme is the power of self-compassion. Now, this is something really close to my heart because it's been a really big part of my journey. And self-compassion really changes the relationship we have with ourselves. And that ripples out in everything that we do. So just to get started, you can be as interactive as you want to be. If you just want to observe and you just want to reflect as we go along, you take this time as you want it. And what we do ask is that you pay it forward after this webinar, pass the kindness onwards. Okay, so let's get started. So what is self-compassion? Yeah. So self-compassion is really allowing ourselves to be our own inner friend, especially when things happen that are not pleasant, or when we fail, or things don't go A, B, C. It's really being our inner ally, not our inner enemy. And that may seem obvious, but it's not always easy when we're living day-to-day life. But we can develop it and we can grow it. We can grow this beautiful relationship with ourselves. So today we're going to unpack what self-compassion is, what the research says self-compassion is. And then I want to bring a quiz, if you're happy with that, just do a self-compassion quiz, just to expand our awareness with compassion, and then introduce some tools that you can use, that you can integrate, what you choose to integrate taking forward. Okay, so let's get started on this. Okay, so if self-compassion is about being our own inner friend, okay, I want to start with a little bit of reflection. Can you think of a time maybe where you were a bit judgmental to yourself, you were a bit hard on yourself, or like a mild to moderate time, yeah, where you were a little bit tough on yourself, or something didn't go to plan? And if you can think of a time, just bring this into your awareness, yeah, and just think how you spoke to yourself, maybe internally, how you felt about yourself, how your body posture was. And I just want you to tune in to what that experience was like when things didn't go to plan, or maybe when you felt you were hard on yourself. What was that experience like? And if you want to share, please do. If you don't, it's absolutely fine. You're self-critical. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Self-loathing. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah. Thank you for your vulnerability. Yeah, beautiful. And thank you for sharing them. Okay, because this is about vulnerability and being honest with ourselves. That's where all these seeds grow. And, there's a saying, I remember when I was growing up, and it would, don't do to others that you don't do to yourself. And often we're harder on ourselves than we are to other people. And some of the ways that lack of self-compassion can show up, and this is from things, research, but also my own reflections. Yeah, it can really grow shame. Perfectionism is a part of shame, yeah, and lack of compassion for ourselves. It can be fear of failure, holding ourselves back, yeah, always in doing mode. Our worth is out there. I've got to do to prove myself. This can be a lack of boundaries when we're saying yes rather than no, yeah, give in, and not giving back to ourselves. We can isolate ourselves, and we can ruminate, like always think about things, and it goes round and round and round in our heads. So these are some of the things how we may show up in people when we kind of lack that self-compassion. But we can change that. And I can honestly say that because I've changed it. So I know for certain, okay? And I want to kind of share with you that there was research done by Dr. Kristin Neff, and she just showed the 3 pillars to self-compassion. So the first one is self-kindness. Yeah. So self-kindness is really about us when things feel hard. Yeah, that we have that arm, we put that like comforting arm around ourselves. That we're not this like self-critical, really hard on ourselves. We just literally go, hey, come on, yeah, it's okay. We put that comforting arm around ourselves. If we fail or we do a mistake, or maybe a relationship ends, we may be self-critical, yeah, but we come away from that when we have kindness. We really see things from a different perspective. Yeah, we give ourselves what we need. It's about giving ourselves that warmth, yeah, that unconditional love, unconditional acceptance as well, because what we resist persists. So giving ourselves that acceptance, no matter what is happening, I'm here with you. I'm here with myself. And when things are challenging, choosing to nourish and soothe ourselves, whatever way that relates to you. And being able to notice our personal shortcomings, not having to hide those parts of ourselves, just going, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So that is what self-kindness is in the research that was done. So common humanity is pillar 2. Yeah. So often when we go through different things, we may just think, oh, it's just me. That only happens to me. But it's part of human. Pain is part of the human experience. Struggle, obstacles, we all go through it. It doesn't mean that you're any different to anyone else. We may have different experiences, but we all go through the rainbow of emotions. We all go through different struggles. And the pillar 2 is really acknowledging the common humanity within our own experiences, our own life experiences. And that may seem very obvious, but sometimes we can forget that when we're actually going through our own pains, our own struggles. And number 3, mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about presence, but it's not just about presence. It's not being judgmental with ourselves. So we may bring more like curiosity, just allowing ourselves to be, yeah, not letting go of any expectations. We're not in the past, we're not in the future, we're just here right now, wherever is showing up. But also recognizing that wherever thoughts are playing, wherever emotions, wherever feeling sensations, yeah, they're part of us, but they're not all of us. We're so much more than that. And we can become an observer of it. So that is part of the mindfulness process. The 3 pillars are self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. And just to give a little snapshot of this in reality, yeah. So I was speaking to a friend actually in a coffee shop, and she was open for me to sharing. Okay, and often, you know, when you make a choice, and it might be, this can be like day-to-day stuff, and you might eat something really unhealthy, yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I feel awful that I've eaten that, and then ate more and more of the wrong stuff, yeah. And it all started with, I feel terrible that I ate that. And then you feel like a bad person and guilt, and then you carry on doing it because you're feeling rubbish anyway. The self-compassion has gone and judgment has come in. So that is how it can show up maybe on, like you said, day-to-day kind of basis. And this is how it showed up for her. Yeah. But when we start to bring awareness into it, we can start to make the tweaks and changes, and we can grow that compassion within our relationship. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. So beautiful. Okay, thank you. Okay. So the three components of them, then the values of these. Okay. So self-kindness is the value of love. Common humanity is the value of connection. And mindfulness is the value of presence. So it's really anchoring into these values. Excellent. And we have to practice daily, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And especially as the more you practice mindfulness, as we become more of an observer, yeah, we can't do it all the time, but even having little check-ins with ourselves and becoming more mindful, or if something arises, we might feel a big emotion. Yeah, pausing with it. And we'll walk through that with a little exercise that I have. Yeah. Okay. So just to kind of get some clarity, because sometimes some people think self-compassion is, it's just more weak, it's slushy. It's not. It's really foundational to building a healthy relationship with ourselves. And it is different to self-esteem. So the difference between self-compassion and self-esteem are interlinked. Yeah, they do build healthy well-being, but there is a difference. So with self-esteem is more, is more about how our worth, how we value ourselves, how we perceive ourselves. And what research has found is, in Western culture more so, is that self-esteem can ping pong. Because if things happen, then we can get into a kind of self-concept that we have to be above average. So when things don't go to plan, if we make a mistake, if we make a poor choice, if we don't get that job, if we have something negative said to us, and that takes away that above average self-concept, it can then impact our self-esteem. So this is what is showed in kind of when they peeled it with research of how it was presenting in kind of people's lives. And because we can get caught up in this self-concept, we can almost deny parts of ourselves. Because like, oh yeah, I don't want to see that part of myself. So we can distort and not accept certain parts of ourselves. But and there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve ourselves and building self-esteem, but having the compassion strengthens our well-being, because compassion is about accepting all parts of ourselves. There's no judgment. There's no self-evaluation. It's just allowing and accepting whatever we are feeling, what is ever going on. We are meeting ourselves exactly the same. If we're happy, if we're sad, if we're angry, if we're feeling joyful, excited, we're just meeting ourselves exactly the same. It's like that holding. It's those strong foundations that, yeah, this is me. It's okay. So with compassion, with self-compassion, it's allowing all ourselves to be seen, felt, and heard with full acceptance, unconditional love. And what research has shown, that when the more kind of self-compassion a person has, we can learn it. So it doesn't matter where you feel you are. It does not matter, because you can learn it, you can grow it, you can give it to yourself. But when the more self-compassion we have, the more emotional resilience we have. And what my understanding on that is because we're feeling all our emotions. We're not scared of certain emotions. Even if maybe we haven't had that holding in our past, we can give it to ourselves. It's having more an accurate self-concept, because we're not hiding certain parts of ourselves. We're not masking ourselves. We're not caught up in that perfectionism. I have to be a certain way. We can start taking away those masks, because this is me, and all parts of me are equal. Yeah, so we get more kind of accurate self-concept, and we have more caring relationships. So our behavior is more caring in our relationships. And my understanding of that is because the more we feel inside ourselves, the more empathy we have for another human being, the more holding we can have for another human being. And the less reactive we are to anger. So that is what the research found when we grow self-compassion. And my understanding with the less reactive to anger is, one is because if someone triggers us, if someone says something negative to us, we don't kind of take it so personal. So it has less charge to it. But also, the more we are accepting all parts of ourselves, then more parts of ourselves can surface. So we no longer need to push any angry feelings down. We can start to understand the message of that angry, rather than go, I'm not an angry person, it's not good to be angry and I got to hide it. And then all of a sudden it just grows and grows. That we resist persists, and it grows, and then there can be one little thing and the top blows off. Yeah. So that is what self-compassion provides. Yeah, does that make sense? Yes. Great. Yeah, I have a question. Please do. Yeah. Please do. I'm so compassionate, loving, and kind for everyone. I struggle with self. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That is really, really common. And we're going to go through a process after this quiz. And I want to check in with you if that is going to help you. Yeah. Because what that is showing to me, you have this compassion, you have that love, you have that kindness inside yourself, because you're able to give it to others. So then it is times then that you need to kind of allow that to come back and be your own friend, the friend you're giving to others to give to yourself. So I'm going to talk you through a 3-step process using the 3 pillars. And then if it's okay with you, I'm going to check in if that helps you. Okay, beautiful. Okay. So first of all, before we even go into the tool I just mentioned, and you can see how it resonates with you, okay, is how do you feel about doing a self-compassionate quiz? Yeah. So all you need is some pen and paper, okay? So this is a shorter quiz to what you can do it. There's a much more comprehensive one, but this still gives you a kind of baseline. So you just know where you are. So do it with compassion, yeah, do it with a self-honesty, because like I say, we can grow this, we can grow a compassionate relationship with ourselves. Okay, is everyone ready? Just checking in. So with this quiz, it is scored, okay? So for this one, the scoring changes. So I will just tell you how to score it, okay, as we go along, okay? So for these ones, I want you to put 1 is almost never, okay? 1 is almost never, and 5 is almost always. 1 is almost never, 5 is almost always, okay? So just scale it where you think you are, okay? I try to be understanding and patient towards those aspects of my personality I don't like. I try to be understanding and patient towards those aspects of my personality I don't like. So 1 is almost never, 5 is almost always. So just score it where you feel you are. Beautiful. Yeah, okay, beautiful. And just jot them down because we're going to be doing an average at the end. So whatever the score is, we divide by 12. So if you just jot the number down, yeah, you don't have to write anything down, just jot the number down, okay? When something painful happens, I try to take a balanced view of the situation. When something painful happens, I try to take a balanced view of the situation. So 1 is almost never, 5 is almost always. Okay. And if I'm going too fast, please tell me, okay? So question 3, I try to see my failings as part of my human condition. I try to see my failings as part of my human condition. So 1 is almost never, and 5 is almost always. Okay. Question 4. When I'm going through a very hard time, I give myself the caring and tenderness I need. When I'm going through a very hard time, I give myself the caring and tenderness I need. So 1 is almost never, and 5 is almost always. So just gauge it where you feel you are. When I'm going through a very hard time, I give myself the caring and tenderness I need. Okay. When something upsets me, I try to keep my emotions in balance. When something upsets me, I try to keep my emotions in balance. And again, 1 is almost never, and 5 is almost always. Next one. When I feel inadequate in some way, I try to remind myself that feelings of inadequacy are shared by most people. Yeah? When I feel inadequate in some way, I try to remind myself that feelings of inadequacy are shared by most people. And again, that is the same 1 for almost never and 5 for almost always. Okay, just keep writing the numbers down, yeah? So now we're doing the scoring different for the last 6, okay? So 1 is going to be almost always, and 5 is going to be almost never. So 1 is going to be almost always, and 5 is going to be almost never. So it's swapped around. When I fail at something when I fail at something important to me, I become consumed by feelings of inadequacy. 1 almost always, 5 almost never. And this one is almost always is 1, almost never is 5. When I fail at something important to me, I become consumed. Yeah, no problem. Okay. When I fail at something important to me, when you fail at something important to you, I become consumed by feelings of inadequacy. And that means, so if you feel you do that most of the time, that's going to be more near the 1. 1 is almost always, and 5 is that you almost never do that. You never kind of beat yourself up if you fail at something important to you. Okay. And again, 1 is, so all the rest of them now, 1 is almost always, 5 is almost never, okay? When I'm feeling down, I tend to feel like most other people are probably happier than me. When I'm feeling down, I tend to feel like most other people are probably happier than me. If that's the case, 1 is almost always, when you feel down, you think other people are probably happier than you. So that would be, that's almost always, that'd be a 1. That's almost never, that's a 5. I'll gauge it in between the 1 and the 5. Okay. When I fail at something that's important to me, I tend to feel alone in my failure. When I fail at something that's important to me, I tend to feel alone in my failure. That's 1 for almost always and 5 for almost never. One for almost always and 5 for almost never. When I'm feeling down, I tend to obsess and fixate on everything that's wrong. Okay. When I'm feeling down, I tend to obsess and fixate on everything that's wrong. So if you do that, 1 for almost always, 5 for almost never, or wherever it is you feel that's in the middle. We've got 2 more, okay, and then we're going to add them up and then go on to the other things. I'm disapproving and judgmental about my own flaws and inadequacies. I'm disapproving and judgmental about my own flaws and inadequacies. 1 for almost always, if that's what you do, and 5 is almost never. So just gauge it where that kind of shows up for you. Just checking. And the last one, okay. I'm intolerant and impatient towards those aspects of my personality I don't like. I'm intolerant and impatient towards those aspects of my personality I don't like. So 1 is almost always, and 5 is almost never. Okay. And remember this, be compassionate, kind. This is just where you are. If it feels like, whoa, okay, everything can change. Okay, so if you got all them, yeah, just add your number up if you can. Yeah, add all the total up and then divide it by 12. If you wanted me to do it for you, I have got a calculator here. So you can just give me the total number and I'll divide it. But if you can do it, fine. You don't need to, you can share if you want, you don't have to, it's completely up to you. Okay, beautiful. Okay, 19, okay, let me just divide that. 19 divided by 19, let me just double check. 19 divided by 12. So if I'm dividing 19 divided by is 1.58, okay? So you can just jot that down, okay? 1.58. And if anyone wants to share any others, if you want me to do it for you, and if you find, that's absolutely fine too, okay? 2.58, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. 1.8. 3.2. Yeah, we're all different and that's okay. Yeah, we're all different, and that is absolutely fine. And I can say for certain, when I started on my journey, I would have been in the low number, 200%. Okay. So just to give you a gauge on where you are, yeah, is if you scored around the 1 to 2.5, that indicates that there's more low self-compassion. If it's 2.5 to 3, 2.5 to 3.5, that's moderate. And if it's 3.5 to 5, that means it's high. Okay. And I just want to emphasize, there's no right or wrong. It's just what it is. It's absolutely fine. It's just having a gauge of where you are so that you can build upon that. Okay. And like I say, when I had done this years ago, I would have been really low because I was super hard on myself. I was a perfectionist. I was a people pleaser. I had it all. Okay. So I can promise you, you can grow from this. Okay. And how was that for you? I just want to check in. How was that for you? Great information. I'm glad you found it helpful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Good. Like you and working on it. Yeah. Yeah. And as long as we're living and breathing, okay, as being a human being, we're always evolving, we're always growing. And with self-compassion, we're always kind of working on it, we're always improving it, we're always sustaining it. Yeah, as humans, we're here to grow, we're here to evolve, we're here to build relationships. We're not meant to stay the same. Nature teaches us that it's always changing, we're changing, and we can consciously choose that change. So when we have the awareness, okay, this is where things are, I can work on it. Yeah, because I understand now what areas I need to kind of put my energy. Okay, so this is what it's all about. Without awareness, we can't change anything. So I'm going to talk you through a situation where this can be a tool. So I'm going to anchor in those pillars that have been proven by research that can allow us to develop a much more compassionate relationship with ourselves. Okay, So I am going to share something that happened to me yesterday. Okay, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it as a this is humans in it together. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to just take some deep breaths. Okay, that might be a lot of questions just thrown at you. Yeah. Just take some deep breaths. Yeah. And just come back into your body. Just allow yourself to be present. Yeah, just allow yourself to be here. Full acceptance. You're absolutely fine as you are. And just paying total gratitude for yourself for showing up this evening, giving this time to yourself. Yeah, just giving yourself that acknowledgement right here, right now. Okay, so we move on to the next bit. Just giving yourself that pause. So coming into the tools, and I want to kind of emphasize a lot of people with self-compassion, we're all made of different energies. Yeah, we're masculine and we're feminine. The balance of those energies are going to be different in everybody, but we're all masculine and feminine energies, no matter if we're male or female gender. So the different tools, we can have different tools for different parts of ourselves. Okay. So the feminine is more about the comforting, the soothing, the validating. And the masculine self-compassion is about the protecting ourselves, those boundaries, yeah, providing for ourselves, or knowing our values and our needs, and motivating ourselves, not in a harsh way, but motivating ourselves because we want to, in a compassionate, in a kind way, yeah, not in a kind of critical way. So it anchors into everything that we have. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of pull onto two different tools that anchor the feminine self-compassion and the masculine self-compassion. Okay, so I just want to invite you, you may want to use what we use at the beginning of the session. Okay, just bringing in somewhere maybe where you feel you've been hard for yourself. And the person that asked me earlier, you can check in how this is for you. Okay, so bring in something maybe where you were hard on yourself, that when you needed to be a little bit kinder to yourself, just bring that into your awareness. But make sure it's because we want to grow the skill of self-compassion. Don't do something that just was really difficult. Pick something that is quite mild or moderate. Yeah, because we want to learn the skills. We don't want to throw ourselves right in the deep end right now. We want to build on this. We want to grow this beautiful skill. Okay. So has everyone got something that they can bring? Has everyone got something? You give me a yes or wherever. Has everyone got something that they can kind of bring into their awareness, something mild or moderate, which was tricky? Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to give you, like I said, I'm going to give you a real life one. Okay. I'm going to be completely real. So yesterday, okay, I was working, I was doing stuff. I had my daughter, and I have a 3-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. And so I was juggling, look at being mum, do my work stuff as well, and doing the in between. And then I had to do the school run, get food ready, get everything ready, because I was taking my son to his first swimming lesson. So we got there early. Because I didn't know where to park, where it was, and just be a little bit prepared for the first time. And my son, anything new, he gets really, really worked up. He gets really anxious. So we got to the car park and we got there early. We were literally half an hour early. So you can imagine now a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old stuck in this small space, and there was literally nowhere around there that they could really run around to get out of the car that was safe. So they were bouncing around the car. I was exhausted because I'm doing a detox as well. So I'm feeling really fatigued and exhausted. Then my daughter gets hit by a seatbelt because they're bouncing around, and then she is crying. And then all of a sudden I react. Yeah. I'm not the patient, calm parent that I want to be. It just got all too much because I was just been running around at hand stops at 6 a.m. in the morning. And now this was like 4:15, say, right? So I could have easily then got caught up. Oh, I'm a bad parent. Shame kicks in, or the guilt kicks in, and then that takes over, and then I'm just really hard on myself, and that's how it could have gone. Okay, so this is how I want to show you how I use a self-compassion tool. So you can use whatever is come up in your awareness. Okay, so the first one is mindfulness. Okay, so for me, it might be an area of your body that you feel is quite soothing for you. For me, sometimes just rubbing my arm or putting my hand on my heart feels really soothing to me. So if that feels right for you, you do what's right for you. But if you feel something feels soothing to you, just locate that, what that means. Sometimes people go like this, sometimes that's soothing, sometimes just with their hands is soothing for them, sometimes just stroking their legs is soothing, sometimes it's just even moving their body. Yeah. So you just check in what is. And the mindfulness is acknowledging what's going on. So for me, it's like, oh, I feel guilty. But what I have changed it to, I don't say I am guilty, I said there is guilt. If it resonates with you that I prefer saying I feel guilty, that's fine. But for me, I've changed it now to there is guilt. So I'm not over identifying, but I'm acknowledging it. Yeah? There's guilt. But I just was present with it. Okay. So I put my hand on me, I was nurturing, I was soothing. There is guilt. Yeah. I'm accepting that part of myself. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. So I want you to do that for yourself. You know, what experience you've had, just do that for yourself. Just acknowledge. And if it feels a bit uncomfortable, just let that be. Let that flow. Okay. So I'm here, okay? And then we move on to the common humanity. So this is the place now I'm feeling like I feel guilty. I feel like a bad mum. Okay, there is guilt. Yeah, so there's guilt. There's guilt. I'm soothing myself. Got my hand. I'm soothing myself. And then the common humanity is this is what parents feel when they've reacted. All parents can feel like this. This is normal. And it's bringing an expectation, like a reality to what we're experiencing. So I want you to just I want to invite that into you, whatever you're experiencing. Maybe if you're hard on yourself, this is what other people experience when they're hard on themselves. This is what other people go through. I'm not alone in this experience. Other people go through this too. I just want you to bring that kind of common humanity into that experience. So you're acknowledging, you're nurturing, and then you just bring in, you're not alone in this. Yeah. I'm not the only parent to react and not be my best self. Other parents go for this when they're exhausted. Yeah. And for me, you can bring some perspective. You know, I hadn't stopped, I was exhausted, I was on a detox. So I am feeling fatigued, I'm feeling exhausted. That's what built up to that I wasn't this calm, patient mum in that moment. And that's what happens to other parents too. So I'm just going to give you a pause there just to give that to yourself. Note and just recognizing other people go through what you've experienced. And there might have been a reason we got there. There may be a lot going on that day, maybe. Okay. And the next step is self-kindness. So in those moments, that may be hard to think of, oh God, how can I be kind to myself? So I want you to say something. I want to invite you, okay? Everything's an invitation. I want to invite you to say, what would you say to a friend that's just gone through what you've gone through? What would you say to a friend? And for me, I would say, it's okay to go. This is exactly what I said. It's okay. That was just a moment. You can choose differently for the next moment. You can take responsibility, apologize, reset, and choose differently. It's all parents find it hard at times, and it's okay. It doesn't mean anything. And that's literally what I said to myself. And then all my children are like, let's reset. This is not a great experience. We'll change it for next week. Let's take a deep breath and let's reset. And everyone was fine again. Yeah. So I'm just going to talk to that again. Acknowledge what's showing up. You can put your hand on just to kind of what gives you comfort. Common humanity. You're not alone. All humans go through this. And then kindness, what would you say to a friend? And just tune in how that feels. And if it feels uncomfortable because this is a new kind of inner dialogue, that's okay. Just allow that to be too. Yeah, that's okay. But just tune in. How does that experience feel? Just having those pillars to move you through those times when maybe you're hard on yourself or tricky things happen or an experience that you've used. Just I want to check in how that was for you. Love that. Okay. Also helpful, Kelly. Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. Thank you. Absolute pleasure. Yeah. It's absolutely normal, guys. Yeah. It's absolutely normal. And the more you practice, even if you practice mindfulness, yeah, just having those little pauses, little check-ins on ourselves. Use your hand, whatever way. Just check in on ourselves. Beautiful, worked well, great. Just check in on yourself. We're no different to anywhere else. Yeah. And that moves us away from shame. And yeah, we're just accepting all parts of ourselves. Okay. Beautiful. And if you want me to go over anything, please say. Okay. If I'm not making sense in any way, please say. Okay. Because I'm going to invite you to do one other thing. If you're happy. So the other part, so there's loads of different things. So this one was more kind of the feminine, really tuning in, nurturing ourselves, giving ourselves what we would give to another friend. So we're becoming a friend to ourselves. Okay. So the other part I'm going to invite you to do is really checking in what we need. So often we can give out to other people and give less back to ourselves. And we've all got needs. We've all got our own values. Yeah, we're all authentic. And the more we accept all parts of ourselves, the more we have a fulfilled, authentic life. Okay. So would you be open to doing a little bit of a shut-eye? Yeah. And becoming a little bit of observer of ourselves. We're anchoring into that mindfulness and just to anchor in what is it that we really need so that you all have something different to move forward with. Yeah. So if everyone is happy, I know we've been sat a little while. So if you just tune into your body, if you need to move your body in any way, really listen to yourself, okay? Listen to yourself. And if I can just invite you, just get comfortable. Okay, it's up to you what you want to do, what you're comfortable with. Maybe you want to put your hand somewhere where that feels confident to you. Yeah. But I want to kind of invite you to close your eyes if you're able to, depending on where you are. This just that helps you to go a bit more inward. So if I can just invite you, just to close your eyes, yeah, and just allow yourself just to come into the breath. Yeah, just allowing yourself to feel into the breath. Just breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And just zone into the texture of the in and the out breath. And just feeling how the breath is supporting you every moment. It's nourishing you. It's providing you. And maybe just tune in. Do you need to take the breath a little deeper? Or do you need to keep it the same? Just allow yourself to listen to yourself. Give yourself what you need. It's already available to you. And as you tune in, just allow yourself to scan your body. Just really checking in on yourself. Just scan your body from head to toe. And just bringing your awareness to your feet. Wherever they're resting on, just bring your awareness to the sensations underneath your feet. Space in between your toes. Just really feeling yourself if you're sitting, lying down, just feeling yourself how you're supported the ground or the bed or the chair, whatever that's supporting you, feeling really supported and grounded where you are. Coming back to the breath and just feeling the space in between each breath in and out, every inhalation and exhalation. Any thoughts come, just let them come. Don't resist anything. Everything is accepted. Everything can be present. Sun past the clouds. And then just become aware of your whole body. From your head to your toe, to your toe, to your head. Just becoming aware of your whole body and the space it occupies. Just moving your awareness to all around you. Maybe it feels like a cocoon around you, like a bubble. Maybe your aura, a light. Or maybe your sense of self is just expanded. Still being aware of your feet and your body, but just allowing that awareness to expand out and out and out and out. Right up there. Just imagine you're the sun in the sky. You just go right up into the sky and just imagine you're the sun. Just feeling the warmth, the nurturing, the freeness, it's boundless, the wisdom. You can see things from all different perspectives because it's way, way up there. And being the sun way, way up there, you can look down at yourself down there. Looking down with unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. Seeing all the strengths that you have. Seeing how far you have come. And having deep, deep gratitude for where you are today. And with that love and that warmth, looking down at yourself all the way down there, you can clearly see what is it that you need. What is really important to you? What you need to give to yourself? What little tweak do maybe you need to make to give back to yourself? And I'm just going to pause you for a moment just to allow yourself to be in this space. And just feeling into this warmth, this compassion, this unaccepted and unconditional love and acceptance, this freeness, this lightness. And bringing that all the way in now, coming in and in, sinking into all your skin cells, sinking into your blood cells, the space in between your blood cells, your bones, your organs, and allowing that just to expand throughout all your body. And then that wisdom from above just illuminate your way, what you need to give to yourself, just feeling into those energies that come into your body. That wisdom, that unconditional love is part of you. And just can I invite you just to take a deep, deep breath in and let go all the way out for your feet. Just grounding you back in. Just bring a deep breath in, letting go out for your feet. And one more time, just breathe in. And let go all the way out for your feet, just anchoring you back into this present moment. And in your own time, at your own space, just come back round into this moment, coming back into the natural breath. And maybe just seeing what's present for you. What is it maybe that you need to, a little tweak, maybe a little step that you need to take forward to give back to yourself. Maybe it's integrating the 3 pillars. Maybe it's something different. Just coming back into space as we're drawing to an end of this session. I just want to check in how everyone is, how that was for you. And as you're coming back in to this present moment, this is my self-care year today, Kelly. You're a sweetheart. Thank you again. Lovely, nice and relaxed. Beautiful, beautiful. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And just to remember, the 3 pillars. Allow yourself to be mindful. Show up what was showing up. What you're going through is normal. Other humans go through it. And what you say to a friend. 3 pillars. Whenever you find yourself judging or something difficult happens. And knowing that you've got this access to yourself. That you can change your perspective. You can tune into yourself. And just to wind up, that my name's Kelly Turner. I'm a certified coach. And I've partnered with Life Coach University, who are on a mission to coach millions of people. And we just ask, I pay it forward being here. And just to, I want to say, give kindness to yourself, and kindness to others. Going forward, pay it to yourself and pay that kindness forward to other people. And we love to hear from you. So on lifecoachuniversity.com, if you scroll down, all the way down, you can let us know how you pay that forward. We're always open for hearing from you, any feedbacks. We're always open, always love hearing from you and your own stories. So there are so many other coaches on, so please look at their website. There's a lot more coaches from around the globe offering different webinars like I have today. And I'm here the first Tuesday of every month. So I'm wishing you a beautiful evening. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, my email is kellyturnercoaching@gmail.com. That's kellyturnercoaching@gmail.com. Much love to you all, and I see you again soon. Bye.